Hey everybody, we're Workforce Gaming. I'm Doug, along with Brad.
Hey everybody.
And this week we got a code from Ninja Theory for the game Dexed, the
Yes.
PSVR version. Apparently, this game's actually been out for Vive for a while. As I was trying to figure out what the hell this game was.
Yeah. This is one of those things that has been around and I just never really heard of until I saw a trailer for it a couple weeks ago, and then we ended up getting the code for it. So it's like, oh well, I'll give this a shot. And
Yeah,
this is a very interesting game. It's definitely not like the most amazing and a blow your mind game, but it's kind of one of those cool experiences. And I think we use that term experience a lot with VR.
yeah. I was like, oh, it's a V. You basically just described every VR game.
Yeah, where it's like this is it's a game, but it's that big demo. As I feel like kind of how a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
things feel like, where it's like, yeah, this is like an hour-long demo of something that's gonna be awesome 3 years from now.
yeah, yeah. See,
Um,
see. I never have that opinion of VR games because whenever I play them, I'm like, that was a good, awesome hour now.
and again, I this for sure was that good, awesome hour, or probably closer to 30 minutes. It was that good. This is awesome for 30 minutes, but it's like that, like, ooh, I want this, but bigger and longer,
Yeah.
and I want more. But yeah, so this game plays really cool. So if you've played Child of Eden, you've played Res, you've essentially played this game, and I haven't played Res VR, which I'm assuming maybe had I played that, it might change my opinion of this a bit because I feel
Yeah,
like
you
they're
should
kind
probably
of.
play Res VR.
I know I should play Res VR. Leave me alone. But anyway, I feel like that might have changed my opinion because then I would have played a game like this. And I think you talked about it with when you did Area X, where you were talking that you could kind of look behind you, and that kind of changed up your sense of how you were playing it, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like that was kind of what happened with this. Is it feels like Child of Eden. It feels like Panzer Dragoon. If you played those games years and years ago, if it has the same mechanics as those, but the VR just adding the ability to kind of look around and look behind you and have the enemies fly at your face and then go behind you. And now, okay, I have to turn and I can still track them behind me to get them.
Yeah.
Definitely adds an extra layer to this, and I think that's kind of a cool thing to be able to throw in there and to experience these types of games where you have that, and it really gives these a different feel to them because you're in that world.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's like a lot. There's kind of like a lot of games like these. Like there's Res. There's Until Dawn, which is more facing forward. But does this actually have you do a lot of like look behind you and stuff if you miss something?
Um, when you get into there's a couple different modes in it. The standard normal mode. So I just played through the game on normal. Not really because it's a fairly just again, having played those games, like playing through Child of Eden 3 or 4 times, it's gotten to the point where okay, I'm pretty good at this. So
Yeah.
playing the normal thing, just going through on normal difficulty, a lot of it was just okay, I can hit all these things before they get behind me. And there's a couple where you turn to the side and they spawn from directly your left or right. But I didn't have to do a lot of
Hmm.
looking back until I tried it on hard mode, and then okay, a couple things are getting past me, and then there's an arcade mode, which is kind of like just your rush mode, where it's just sending wave after wave of enemies at you, kind of in those endless things.
Yeah.
That gets really difficult really quick. Where again, okay, now I've got to look around me. I've got to figure out where the hell did that last one go. There's a lot more of that. But if you're just playing on normal, just trying to have that relaxing, like okay, this is a because the game's super pretty, the super pretty like look at all the pretty colors type of experience. You're not really going to have that quite as much.
Yeah. I've actually. I was actually really surprised when Ninja Theory popped up. I still can't quite figure out if Ninja Theory like developed this or they published it or but regardless, I know Ninja Theories they always have like really pretty environments. So like a really like a Ninja Theory game that's like structured around like their environmental designs actually sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's essentially what this is. I mean, they even have the mode in there where it's like, we'll just kind of take out pretty much all of the enemies, and you can just float through the level, looking around at how pretty we made this. And it's a very pretty game. There's 4 environments. There's a forest, an underwater, snow, and volcano levels that all really do a good job of, I think, designing an environment that fits that theme. And you
Hmm.
see a lot of different things. So in the water level, there's a giant whale that swims past you, and you got to shoot the things off the whale. In the snow level, there's a giant snowman, and that you're looking at and you're going towards, and he kind of falls apart. So there's some kind of cool things that they just did with the environments to really give this game a little bit more personality.
Hmm.
But
I
the
mean, is
game
it
is
fun?
short.
Like, is it just a fun game or?
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's one of those things where, and I kind of get this more and more with VR, where it's simple.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the Child of Eden experience where Child of Eden gets super difficult and Panzer Dragoon gets super difficult. The arcade mode gets pretty hard, but for the most of it, it's a simple game. It's one of those. It's simple, but it's fun. You kind of enjoy yourself, and I think it's one of those things. You take the VR out of it,
Yeah.
and never in a million years would I touch this.
Really? You like Child of Eden a lot.
I do, but again, like, okay, would I touch a fully realized 6 hour long where they've got
Yeah.
a whole bunch more stuff? Yes, but this game in its current state, if you take away the VR, no. Which, and
Hmm.
I think that's kind of a sticking point for some people of, and I think that's more of like, because that was always my thought before I had a VR of,
Yeah.
if I wouldn't buy this for my normal PlayStation, why would I get it for my VR? But there's that experience thing of you're in there and you're in this game, and I think that definitely changes up the way you feel about it,
Hmm.
much more so than a traditional game. And I think one of the biggest things with this for me is I think you've got so many dark, bleak VR games at the moment.
Yeah.
Between, I mean, if you think about the big name ones, Resident Evil, Batman,
Until
Until
Dawn.
Dawn,
Yep.
Eve Valkyrie, they're all dark. There's not a
Hmm.
lot of bright colors in these. And just having that different experience visually of, okay, now you're in this super bright forest where the sun's shining and there's all these colors around you, and you're in this volcano where there's things, moving around, and you're in underwater, or you're under the water and there's all this, different stuff floating around you. It gives you a much different picture than these other games. So if nothing else, it at least gives you that feeling of, okay, we can have a VR game that's not about scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah. You could like just be in a pleasant environment. Yeah. I feel like that. I feel like that. Yeah. There's either go very very cartoony, like very kiddie, which actually I do enjoy, like the Playroom VR and Wayward Sky, I believe is the other one.
Yeah.
Or they go very very scary, and there's not a lot of just like cool fantasy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like super scary, super kiddie, and this one actually seems like something that's kind of in between, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it doesn't make it any less intense because of that, and I think you mentioned Playroom VR, which I played, and I just was like, okay, this is simple. It's get from point, it's simple. There's not much to this. This definitely to me has more of that middle ground of, okay, this is still intense, because you get, when you turn it on to the hard mode, you still get, okay, there's stuff going on, like I still have to be focusing. I still have
Mm.
to try and track these things. It's all still there, but it's just in a much prettier environment. Having just played Rush of Blood, it's the same feeling I get playing that, but instead of the sense of dread kind of going into places, it's the sense of like, okay, this is, oh, that's pretty. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, there's my guy I got to kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which sounds weird. You're like, oh, it's pretty, but there's the thing I need to
Video
murder.
games.
Yeah, that's how those work. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of almost one of those fun, relaxing games where it's just kind of relaxing to sit there and go, okay, this is pretty. It's nothing super intense. There's no clowns that are gonna jump out and yell at me. Nothing's ridiculous like that. Just
Mhm.
I'm enjoying my time here. So it's kind of a cool game. The controls are kind of weird because you've got move controllers, and one kind of in an Ikaruga fashion. Your right hand or left hand, you can switch them back and forth, controls your blue, and your other one controls your red, and you've got to match opposite colors, and if you miss, then that's how you take damage. So it's got kind of a different gameplay experience than some of those other games where it's just tag them all once and then you're done.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised they actually have a precision based game with move controllers. That actually scares the crap out of me.
it actually, I was actually very shocked because it tracks well. It tracks better than Rush of Blood, I feel like. Because Rush of Blood, I feel like I never know where I'm aiming at.
I got that. Yeah.
Versus this, you actually have in your hands, what you're looking at in the VR is just actually the move controllers. They didn't render them in any special weird way, so it just looks like the move controller in your hand.
Yeah.
And there's like a laser beam pointed straight out of it, like a laser pointer, which actually works really well for this type of game because you know exactly where it's pointed at all times. So it actually
Okay. I was actually
tracks
really
pretty
curious about
well. Yeah, it tracks pretty well, and it doesn't. There were a couple of times where it's like, I know I'm pointing at that. I know I am, which is the same issue. Yeah, which is the same issue I had way back in the day with Child of Eden, trying to play it on Connect, where it's like, I'm touching it. I don't know, I'm touching it right now. Stop. And there's a couple points in this where I had that, but for the most part, it tracks pretty well. And I do think there's an option. I didn't try it, so I don't know, but I think there's an option for just the traditional PlayStation controller to do it as well.
Hmm.
But
All right, cool.
yeah,
Sounds like I might actually pick this up.
yeah, I think you'd like it. I think you should give it a shot.
Yeah, I think you'd also like Rez. You should pick that up.
Yeah, maybe. I should get Res. I've never actually
should.
played. I still never have played Res. Never
Oh,
once.
just
Not
just
even
go
not
buy
even
it.
for like 2 minutes. I've never touched it.
Oh my god, get Rez. All right. We are Workforce Gaming. If you guys like what you heard, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow us at Workforce Gaming. I guess we'll see you guys next week.